Welcome to Natural Habitat Adventures, Daily Dose of Nature. Today's topic, the Golden Eagle, King of the Alps, presented by NatHab Expedition Leader, Andrea Serena. I'm your host, Rob Mess. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. Over to you, Andrea.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Rob. Super happy to be here again with you, and I'm very happy to talk about one of my favorite animals, truly beauty of the Alps, the golden eagle. So let's start. Okay, that's me. Okay, Kings of the Alps. So after the webinar we had a few months ago dedicated to the bearded vulture, the amazing bearded vulture, this time we talk about this amazing bird of prey, the golden eagle. So we focus mostly on the Alpine golden eagle. Beautiful animal, the queen of our skies here. And again, just an amazing species. We're going to discover it together now. So let me introduce myself. That's me. Working in different situations and places around the world, and all are, of course, connected to my and our biggest passion, nature and wildlife. I've been working around the world for several years, for example, in the Andean mountains or in the Amazon jungle, mostly in wildlife rehabilitation centers, trying especially to fight against the black market of species, as well in Australia, mostly as animal keeper in wildlife parks, dealing with the Australian fauna, reptiles mostly. I also teach at the primary school environmental education, and of course I guide for NetApp, and I get by myself freelance back home between the Venice Lagoon and the Alps. So basically these are usually the environments where I mostly work. So again, from the coast, the lagoon of the Adriatic Sea to the northeast Alps, I'm mostly specialized in alpine and mountain environment, especially the Dolomites, being one of the official Dolomites National Park guides as well. And since 2019, I have the privilege to guide for NatHab. Until now, I've been guiding the Switzerland trip, the amazing Switzerland trip. We just finished the very last trip a week ago, and once again, the experience, the season being amazing. So here we are with the beauty. So what's make, first of all, this species so special? The golden eagle is one of the most fascinating diurnal birds of prey, and probably the most famous raptor of the entire northern hemisphere. It is also the most widely distributed species of eagle. It's a huge bird, as we can see in this slide down the bottom, compared with the man there, with a length up to 3.3 feet and a weight that reached 15.4 pounds, which is a lot for a flying bird. But the most surprising characteristic of the golden eagle is its wingspan, up to 7.5 feet, which is almost 2.4 meters. Is a fighter aircraft, a jet. Amazing bird. So this bird is easy to recognize due to its large size, right? And with a very characteristic silhouette. The golden eagle has a chestnut brown plumage that only on the head has some beautiful golden streaks that reveal the origin of its scientific name, which is Aquila chrysaetos, which literally means golden eagle. These huge wings combined with powerful musculature are the real secrets of the eagle's extraordinary flying ability. And when diving for prey, they reach speeds up to 200 miles per hour. This makes the golden eagle one of the two fastest living animals in the planet, together, of course, with the peregrine falcon that we see here on the left, that can reach the shocking diving speed of 242 miles per hour, which is just shocking, amazing. So what about the habitat of this beautiful bird? The golden eagle seems to adapt very well, as they have one of the widest distribution of all eagles around the world. They range from sea level to high mountains, and the Alpine golden eagle can be found up to almost 10,000 feet. This eagle prefers inaccessible mountain areas below the level of perennial snows, with rocky walls suitable for nesting, and that must be close to the alpine meadows, of course, where the hunting area is for these birds. Its territory can range from 50 to 500 kilometers square, and that depends on how much food is available. Let's talk about the prey. What can we say about the diet of this bird? Well, they feed on mammals and birds mostly, but that depends on the area. In certain environments, for example, they feed on reptiles, mostly snakes. Among the mammals, for sure, the eagles prefer rodents, hares, marmots for sure is probably the favorite, at least in the Alps. And then wild rabbits, squirrels, also foxes. And why? Because all of these animals are, let's say, easier to hunt for the eagle. But, and this slide is impressive, they can lift sometimes up to 40 pounds. And this is shocking because until a few years ago, scientists, ornithologists thought that an eagle couldn't lift more than a few pounds. But as we see here, they can fly with a prey almost 3 times their maximum weight. And so they can even attack small or young ungulates, as we can see in this slide, with attacks on young red deers, roe deers, or while carrying a young chamois to the nest. And that's really, really impressive. But look at this. Truly amazing what we see in this slide with these golden eagles attacking much bigger animals like adult chamois, deers, and even a shocking attack on a male red deer. Probably, let's say, 30 times heavier than the eagle you can see there. So really shocking. To finish the golden eagle's diet, we must say that especially during their first year and until they become good hunters, let's say, eagles will often feed on dead animals. Important, again, to mention also other prey, such as birds, mostly pigeons, and once again, reptiles, snakes, but also lizards. Yeah, I would say snakes and then lizards. Which is, well, the picture is not fantastic, but the bottom right show us this fantastic eagle carrying, let's say, a fully grown, probably grass snake. Very nice. Okay. So what about the golden eagle behavior? Well, eagles give their best, especially during their flights. So all year long, they show us spectacular large spiral flights at high altitudes while controlling their territory. It's beautiful also to see when the male does the aerial exhibition as part of his courtship. So he folds his wings and drops head first until close to the ground. When he spreads his wings to soar aloft and repeat the action again and again, it's a fantastic show. It's not spectacular as the death spiral of the bald eagle you can likely admire in North America, but it's still pretty amazing to see. During these mating rituals, the females often performs in inverted flights, while the male seems to swap over them. Also a fantastic show. The couple also used to pass to each other the prey sometimes while flying, and that's also typical and part of the courtship. But probably even more spectacular is the hunting technique. Often with both male and female taking action and sharing the tasks. Usually one individual flies close to the ground to frighten the prey, while the other dives from above, attacking the animal with an incredible speed from the top, being lethal. All right. But what about the time to breed, when the couple, how the couple act when they are ready to breed? First of all, and beautiful of this bird, golden eagles are faithful for life. Once the male and the female have formed a couple and a territory, they remain together for many, many years, building around their territory several nests, usually on the sheer walls of cliffs or among the branches of very huge trees. choosing from here to here the one that seems most suitable, let's say. However, the nests are always built lower than the altitude of the hunting grounds to avoid tiring actions with the prey in the close, taking advantage from the thermal currents. So it's like a legend. The fact that the golden eagle have the nest up on the mountain peaks, that's not true. The control of the territory is not a problem, and it is also divided equally between male and female, and is often limited to a flight along the border, the perimeter of the territory itself, to show basically to the other eagles where the actual borders are. And most of the time that's more than enough. Golden eagle attack other golden eagle just in a true case of need. So they try always to avoid waste of energy. So this territorial flight usually is more than enough to keep away the other eagles. And what can be said about the reproduction of this fantastic bird? Well, first of all, the nest is built on rocky walls or again on very, very huge trees. They use dry twigs and it is lined with air racks and also fresh twigs with leaves. Hairs, animal hairs are used as well. And each pair of golden eagles have usually 2, 3, 4 nests, which are used on turns. So the eagles start to repair the old nest or build new nest around March here in the Alps and in general in cold places. Much earlier in places where it's very hot all year long, of course. But anyway, around March, and they finish to prepare the nest around beginning of April. So after that, they usually lay 2 eggs between end of April and May, and incubation time is about 45 days. It's nice because both parents take care of the nestlings, so basically they both feed the chicks. And around mid-July, August, the juveniles will leave the nest. After that, they stay together with the adults, especially the female, for the rest of the summer. And they will leave normally the mother, the father, in winter time only. So let's say more or less when they are 6 months old. How to recognize them up in the sky? What's the difference between males and females, or between young and adult eagles? Normally, the golden eagle is easy to recognize due to its large size, and it has a strong sexual dimorphism, with the female significantly larger than the male, usually because sometimes male eagles can enter other eagles' territory and attack the females while hatching the eggs or trying to kill the chicks, to eat the chicks. So Usually it's very common between birds of prey to have very large females. Excuse me. The plumage is instead the same between males and females. You can't tell the difference, but differs greatly between adult and young individuals. They are very different. The adult is uniformly brown in color, has a golden tawny head and nape, while the young and immature appear darker and highlight white areas on the tail and on the wings that reduce until they disappear more or less at the age of 4. Beak is bluish gray in color, and the wax, so the fatty structure at the attachment of the beak, is yellow. But yeah, here we can better see their plumage year after year. So from a 1-year-old immature individual to a 6 years old fully grown adult. Let's say that usually the golden eagle is considered fully grown adult and so sexually active at least at the end of the 4th year, but better say from the 5th year of age. But we could talk about the history and distribution in the Alps of this amazing animal. So in Europe in general, the golden eagle narrowly escaped extinction. Being hunted by man for generation and generation, reaching its lowest point in the nearly 20th century. So just before to completely lose them, the creation of protected areas and conservation measures agreed between the various Alpine countries. So in this case, we talk about Switzerland, Italy, Austria, Slovenia, Germany. And most important, with the help of organizations like WWF, we save the species from extermination. Just few words about WWF. Keep in mind that we are extremely honored, and it's a privilege to have a partnership with such organization, and it's amazing that you guys are helping a lot with WWF conservation, because part of the money of our guests go directly to some amazing conservation programs around the planet, and they've been helping a lot years ago these amazing birds. So thanks WWF, and thank you. As we can see here, now the total European population counts more or less 3,000–4,000 pairs, with the biggest population that can be found in the Alps, with approximately 1,200 breeding pairs. And this is because the Alpine area was the very first one where eagle hunting was first banned. So once again, these teach us how important is protection and conservation of animal species together with their environments, because we can't save a species if we don't save its environment. And these two things will always go together. But what's dangerous? What are the threats for the golden eagle? Sorry to show you this after lunch, but we had to. So of course, as always, humans are the greatest threats to golden eagles. It is estimated that over 70% of deaths of golden eagle are attributed to human impact, either on purpose, actually shooting an eagle, let's say, or because of human activities impacting their environments. So, for example, the loss of huge and healthy forest, for example, or um, the loss of alpine meadows and important environments in general for this bird. For a long time, eagles have been shot and killed by farmers, hunters, and in general profit seekers, let's say. Shooting continues to be a major problem for the eagle, but unfortunately, poisoning has become one of the primary causes of death in these days. This poisoning occurs when the eagle feeds on carrion dead animals that have been shot with lead bullets, for example. And this is happening to millions of birds every year, everywhere around the world. For example, here in these slides, we can see top right, probably that fox may have eaten poisoned meat. And of course, the eagles will feed on its body being killed by the poison as well. In fact, they were found together. Or we can also see an individual on the left that was found shot dead in its nest while it was hatching. And this is how cruel our species can be. But let's change slide. What can we say about the connection between us and this spectacular bird? One of the most famous hominid fossil is the skull of a 3-year-old child found in Taung, which is in South Africa. That child lived about, scientists are not very sure, but between 3 and 2 million years ago. And the skull has holes punched into its eye socket. And, they were made by the talons of a large African crowned eagle. But eagle and human interaction have been documented going back at least 130,000 years ago. So we are talking about the Neanderthal, and lots of Neanderthal deposits were found in caves in Europe, and was discovered that the Neanderthal loved to use eagle talons to create very unique and stunning jewelry, how you can see here on the bottom of the slide. Very fascinating is the connection the golden eagle has with history, myth, and legends as well. So again, we can go back to ancient times, for example, to the ancient Greece, where the golden eagle became the symbol of Zeus, the father of the gods, and was often mentioned in legends such as the one, for example, relating to the myth of Prometheus or Ganymede. Very beautiful legend, very, very nice mythology. Again, let's go back. Let's push the button of our time machine and let's go to the ancient Rome. Here again, the eagle. The eagle was the emblem of the Roman Empire and was a very important religious and military symbol. For example, each time a legion began the march towards the battle site, a soldier, and it was called the Aquilifer, preceded the troops, holding up this heavy golden banner on which the golden eagle stood out. And again, Charlemagne used the golden eagle as a symbolic bird, as the Habsburg family in the Middle Ages, and many other families around Europe, and especially on their shields, right? But let's go to North America. And important in the Native American culture, eagles are the birds of lightning, or better say, birds of thunder, the incarnation of the Great Spirit. And for this reason, they are adored and respected. Eagle feathers, totem poles, and eagle-like masks were very common, especially in shamanic rituals. We can see some example here in these slides. Beautiful mask, this one. But eagles have been used for centuries by the men to hunt in falconry, right? But is this practice still in use? Of course it is. And I would mention a practice connected to an ethnicity that has for a long time used this technique since the beginning of their history, and still, and where the animal is used for survival purposes and not as a circus or show object, right? This, for example, still happening, as we can see here in this map, in Central Asia, especially, where golden eagles are sometimes trained by the famous hunters in Kazakhstan mostly, and also in Mongolia, where especially the nomad hunters still use these eagles to catch small deers, hares, and the various species of antelopes that they can find in these amazing, huge, and never-ending Asian flatlands. In this context, the animal is considered almost part of the community, let's say, and is directly connected to the level of earth of a family, and for this reason it is considered almost sacred. In fact, killing an eagle is not only forbidden by men, but also by the gods, let's say. Here we see another beautiful picture of one of these Kazakhstan hunter. Kazakhstan is also, if I'm correct, yes, Kazakhstan, yeah, is one of the countries in the world with the eagle in their flag. So eagle as national animal, and that's also for Germany, for Austria, for sure for Albania, for example. So it's probably, regarding birds, the most popular, the most famous, and yeah, why not the most beautiful birds. Amazing. So we are almost done. Before your question, I have another slide here with this beautiful golden eagle looking at us. In general, I thank you for the attention, but I would like to remind you that only thanks to the action of all of us, this animal will be able to continue to fly high in the sky, showing us its beauty. So let's not forget about eagles, and let's fight for the eagles. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Now, before we start with the question and answer session, I would like to remind everyone that you can submit your questions via the question field in your control panel. So tell me, are golden eagles found in any other countries that you know of?
Well, they are found almost everywhere regarding northern hemisphere. So for sure, if we talk about continents, North America, Europe, Asia, but we find golden eagles also in North Africa, for example, the Atlantis Mountains in Morocco. Of course, we can't find golden eagles in Antarctica, and also we can't find them in Oceania. But I must say that I'm pretty jealous of our Aussie friends down there in Australia, because the wedge-tailed eagle to me is another amazing bird and one of the most birds of prey. But again, let's say golden eagles are found pretty much everywhere in the northern hemisphere, of course, where the right environment can be found, and of course where the area and the animal is protected.
So how does the bald eagle differ from the golden eagle?
Well, of course, they have these two very particular looking. The bald eagle is a pure beauty. That white head is something that only nature can create. It's a beautiful animal, but I would say that the main difference is probably the size. We have to focus on the size of the talons, and that tells us a lot about the diet of the two species. Why the bald eagle is a little bit smaller and these talons are a bit smaller? Because the bald eagle usually feed on fish, and this species, the golden eagle, needs let's say some more musculature, some more power, because they focus mostly on mammals, which are more difficult to hunt. So I would say this is the main difference.
So how fast can an eagle fly?
Well, diving 200 miles per hour. And again, these, excuse me, tell us that only the peregrine falcon can be faster than this animal because 200 mile per hour is the speed of a rocket is unbelievable, but that's their number, the shocking number we have to say about diving, about the diving flight, so while hunting and diving down to the prey.
That's incredible. Do you know why they can fly so fast?
Well, the body is, is a gift from the evolution, especially these species that, or someone want to call it a subspecies, the Alpine eagle. In fact, golden eagle are the same everywhere, but imagine their hunting territories. We're talking about huge alpine meadows, and these eagle fly at very high altitude to try to spot their prey. So imagine that uh, a fully grown adult can see a white rabbit from 3 kilometers, so I hope to be correct, but probably 1.8 miles. So imagine the speed that this animal reach, starting the dive up there and before to almost hit the ground. And, evolution just gave to this fantastic bird the perfect wings, the perfect silhouette, the perfect body, the perfect musculature. So, um, it's just it's just a killer machine, let's say, in a good way.
What is the survival rate of the golden eagle chicks?
So usually they lay 2 eggs because, and this is very common between birds of prey. Um, they want to make sure that at least one survive, and usually the very first chick that born is bigger than the little brother or sister, and usually the female, but also the male, prefer to feed the bigger one. Sometimes the bigger one kill the other one, the small one. And so I would say regarding the chicks, it's for sure 50%.
And what is their lifespan?
So usually we are talking about 15 years up to 20 years, but and this is very interesting because I'm talking about an individual that was found in Utah in the United States, which was 31 years old, exactly 31 years and 8 months old. So incredible. I would say between 15 and 20.
So what actually kills the prey? Their claws or the strike of the speed or what?
Is the mix between, of course, the claws that are impressive and the impact force generated by this tremendous diving flight. So you have these claws that after a 200 mile per hour hit the prey, and you can imagine it's not just entering the meat but also destroy the bones for the impact. So it's just impressive.
Do we know how many breeding pairs are in existence today?
Ooh, in the world, it's very, very difficult to tell, mostly because, you know, if we talk about scientists, ornithologists checking the species, controlling the species in North America, in Europe, we can have not exact numbers, but you know, pretty good more or less number of the total amount of these birds. But when you start to think about the never-ending territories that we find in Asia, we cannot be sure about an exact number. Probably an 500,000 birds in the entire planet, but this is just something I read in a book and is for sure just an idea.
Well, that's going to be the last question that we have for today. So I'm going to hand it back to you for your closing comments.
Yeah, once again, you know, I remember when I was a kid and, you know, with my parents, with, you know, my family in general, we used to go up to the mountains to try to spot them. This was probably 25 years ago, and was, you know, almost, I wouldn't say impossible, well, it was very hard to spot one of these amazing animals. And now after 25 years, I can tell you, most of the time I'm going up to the Dolomites, for example, but also in Switzerland during this season with NATAB, if we look carefully, we almost every time see at least one of these fantastic birds. So this means that, especially this new generation, are looking these animals under another point of view. We finally understood that is a fortune to have these birds flying in our environments. And once again, we have everyone, all of us, to push more and more into the conservation of any kind of animals. But especially we have to keep an eye on the great predators, because unfortunately this world is still full of ignorance, which is not stupidity, is ignorance. Lots of people just don't know things. So let's continue in this way. Let's teach our kids what's very important regarding our environments, our world. And I'm pretty sure that in 25 years from now will be even easier and will be a pleasure probably for everyone to spot one of these incredible birds.
Thank you so much for taking the time to present for us today. And I'd also like to thank everyone who tuned in today. If you're interested in information on how you can travel with NatHab, give us a call at the number on your screen or send us an email at info@nathab.com. Our adventure specialists are happy to help you out. Join us tomorrow for our next Daily Dose of Nature. You can check out this week's lineup, including registration links, on our website at nathab.com/webinars. We did record today's presentation, and we will have the replay available on our website soon. With that, I will conclude the webinar. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next time.